What is up? What is up? What is up, everyone? Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. Let me know if my mic is good. What's going on, Alvin B? Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. Give me now, please like, share. Appreciate that, Miss Ivy too. Loud and clear. Okay, cool. All right. Let me know. Y'all can hear my music, right? Let me know if y'all can hear the music. Miss Ivy too said I'm good. All right, cool. All right, so today we're gonna talk about a few things. We're gonna talk about the transfer portal. I'm gonna have Mr. Ford call in a little bit later. Well, he's gonna call in and get us kicked off. But tonight I want to talk about the transfer portal. You know, we had Courtney Miller. He's transferring from Jackson State. I want to get y'all opinions on what y'all think about the transfer portal. It giveth and it taketh away. So yeah, I like the transfer portal, but at the same time, because you know, it levels the playing field for smaller schools. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we want these kids to leave from HBCUs and go into the NFL. We don't want them to leave early. You know, so that's been a big issue that I've been seeing, is that we need to keep these players at HBCUs and matriculate into the NFL from HBCUs. You know, that defeats the purpose if a player could go to a HBCU, play a couple of years, and then transfer to a Power 5 school and play his senior year and then go to the league, because you know how they're going to do that, how they're going to spend it. They're not going to talk about the HBCU he came from. They're going to talk about the Power 5 school that he came from. So, you know, I think that I'm hoping that we can get to a point where these kids and these players, they want to stay at a HBCU and matriculate into the NFL from an HBCU. Now I'm gonna put the call-in number on. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. I cover SWAC content over here, so make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. Give me 1 second, y'all. Appreciate that, Miss Ivy too. But yeah, I'm gonna have Mr. Ford call in just a moment. Mr. Ford, if you're on now, you can call now and get us kicked off. Just a moment, y'all. Yeah, appreciate that. Hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button so we get the stream out to more people. Kevin Pryor says salute Kevin Pryor. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Know it's a little late. We're not gonna be on too long. I won't keep y'all too long. I know y'all gotta go to sleep and get to work. But yeah, I think Mr. Ford is calling in. Give me just a moment, y'all. Mr. Ford, give me just 1 minute. Let me cut the music off for you.
Hey, this is Mr. Ford.
All right, Mr. Ford, you there?
Uh-huh.
All right. What's going on, Mr. Ford? You live on the air. You can talk to me.
Okay, listen, want to give a shout out to everyone, and been missing you, SWAC Buzz. First of all, I want to my condolences to the family of Dwayne Haskins, a young quarterback from the Washington Commanders and from the Pittsburgh Steelers, played at Ohio State. Also want to give my condolences to the family of John Drew, who was a guy that I loved growing up. I remember his first game with the Hawks. I think I was in the 8th grade, 1973, 1974. He died this week. After he left the Hawks, I think he played for the Utah Jazz with Frank Layden. But I want to express my condolences to those families of those two deceased great ball players. Now, speaking of what you're talking about, that transfer portal, those of us in the HBCU world, we have to love the transfer portal because, like you say, it's a way for us to get some great players that we were privy to in the past. You saw what Dion did. Dion had a great recruiting last year in December, and then he come back in February. And last summer he brought in about 25 players through the transfer portal. So we, John Drew died. I think it was Sunday or Monday. I think he died from bone cancer. But we have to love the transfer portal. It's the major concern of the Division 1A teams is they, according to them, the transfer portal has no rules, and they're saying that it's out of whack and some things are going wrong. I heard the other day that the people at LSU are very upset, but I think the whole team went into the transfer portal. I need to check that, but I heard that at least 11 or 12 boys went into the transfer portal. I know one has already shown up at Georgetown University. He followed Kevin Nickelberry, but Kevin Nickelberry, after Coach Wade was fired, he was the interim coach, and then he joined Patrick Ewing's staff at Georgetown. I think one of the young players that was at LSU is now gone to Georgetown. So, there are some people on the Power 5 area that are very upset with the transfer portal, so you can expect some changes. Yeah, I see right here it says, yes, LSU basketball whole team left. Yeah, one of them kids has shown up at Georgetown. I was hoping that Texas Southern with that coach, he's a LSU grad, I believe, and coached there and played for Dale Brown. I was hoping he could get some of them players to come to Texas Southern. Not to some of the other SWAC schools. You were talking about that kid, Cornish Miller. I just always felt that Cornish never got into shape. We really didn't see him as a dump. He was pretty good for maybe 1.5 plays, but to me it was like he was out of shape. I thought he was, because he came to Jackson State as a 4-star. I didn't know that he was transferred, and I hate that. But I just didn't think we got, I didn't see his greatness really come out. To me, he could play one play, and then he was out,
Yeah. Somebody asked, what do you think about the Texas Southern and Texans partnership?
I just saw it on YouTube. I haven't got a chance to read anything so far, but I tell you what I'd like. I wish one of them Texas Lovie Smith could send us one of them young assistants who run Texas Southern's defense, because I'm going to tell y'all right now, the only thing wrong with Texas Southern right now is their defense. That guy who runs I think his name is Doug Marsh. He's the offensive coordinator for Texas Southern. That guy's good. And I ain't got to tell you about that Andrew Body kid. You already know what's going on right there. Texas Southern's biggest problem to me is on defense. If Lovie Smith could send us one of them young, bright assistants to run Texas Southern's defense, guys, I'm going to tell you something, baby. Texas Southern going to be something to deal with.
Yeah, and then I read that they're going to be assisting with updating facilities for Texas Southern too. So that's really good.
Man, now I tell you what would be really great if they could fix Durley Stadium and put about 12 to 15,000 seats in there instead of going over there to that soccer stadium. Because I don't like that. I like it when you play on your campus. Now I do like. Don't get me wrong. I like Veterans Stadium because that's the largest. I think that's the largest black college stadium it is. But I would love for Texas Southern to have their games on their campus, right there in the 3rd Ward. That I think that would do a lot for them. I think it'd do a lot for that whole area over there instead of having to go over there to that soccer stadium.
Yeah, I seen their field. I think they just need to, update the stands and probably take their track away.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we could get 12 to 15,000, because let me tell you something, guys. See, when Southern comes over there, you got a lot of people, Southern graduates, who live in Houston, Texas, who live in Dallas, Texas. And when Southern University comes to Houston to play Texas Southern, see, you don't watch out. Southern will have the highest number of fans. Their fans will outnumber Texas Southern's fans. Okay, let's see. Mr. Ford, how do you feel about the whole volleyball roster being cut? Let me tell you something. We was talking about it this week. Guys, that's legal. You can do that. Let me tell you who did that. When John Calipari came to the University of Kentucky, if y'all remember, he got rid of the whole he got rid of the whole basketball team. Some of them kids he helped. What he did was he helped every one of them transfer to another school. Because one of the kids that was sent away from Kentucky when Calipari got there, he ended up at Texas Southern. You can do that. Now, I have talked to some of my coaching friends who stated the biggest problem they made was keeping players from the previous regime. They said that they wish they had done the same thing. But I've heard that all you have to do is let those players know. I think it's either before June or July or something, and you're good. Because there are some people who like to come in. They like to bring their own players in. They don't want the previous regime's headaches. They want their own players. So, I mean, you know, it's legal. You can do it. From what I've been told, it is legal. You can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what she's doing. She's trying to change the culture. She's trying to, establish her own team that she's built. So she's not trying to have any hangovers. But she gave them an opportunity to try out. So I think that was fair.
Yeah. Well, I think people have forgotten. Y'all know Deion did he cleaned house last summer. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah.
Deion Sanders cleaned house. I think after the spring game, I was told he took 35 scholarships. Yeah, he took 35 scholarships. Once he looked at them kids in the spring, they said it was 35 of them kids. He told them, bye-bye, I'll see you.
Kevin Price said, unfortunately, college sports is a business.
During the summer?
Not a great thing, but it's a business, yeah. Yeah, it's a business. That's what it is.
It's a business. It's a business.
I mean, a lot of people talked about her record, saying that, her record wasn't good, so, she better win and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, yes, that's right. You're right. She better win. Time will tell, baby. Time will tell. The bright lights, listen, the national lights are on her because I've looked at the Washington, trying to think, that paper out of Washington, D.C. There was an article in there. I saw an article in USA Today about it. I mean, I've seen articles in all the major newspapers. So you're right. She better win. She better win.
What's going on, Hoop Jargon? Salute to you.
Huh?
No, I was saying salute to Hoop Jargon in the comments. You go ahead, Ms. Ford.
Okay. Yeah, now what was Hoop Jargon saying? Salute, bro. Okay. Yeah, so guys, did you see any questions for me? Because I before I get to that, I want to answer any questions anybody got for me. Let me just say this, guys. I don't know if any of you've had a chance to see the Florida A&M spring game. Let me tell you something. What we were saying was the biggest issue at Florida A&M was the quarterback position. It is no longer. Florida A&M has caught a great blessing. Guys, this Musa kid that they have received from Vanderbilt, he is the truth. Okay? Now, they can play politics if they want to and not start that kid. They're going to regret it. Okay? The biggest issue at Florida A&M right now is can that offensive line protect this young man? This young man is heady. He sees the plays before they develop. He's got a strong arm. He seems to be a scholarly kind of guy. He's everything they want. Let me just say this, guys. That Orange Blossom Classic, Jackson State versus Florida A&M, that's going to be a game and a half. I can tell you right now.
That's the game.
Listen, I'm a fan of Coach Simmons. I hope he don't play politics with this kid. This kid is supposed to start.
That's the game. That's the game that I'm worried about.
Now is not the quarterback position. It's the offensive line. Can the offensive line protect this young man? I'm sorry. Did you want to say something?
No, I was saying that's the game that I think Jackson State needs to be worried about. Like that game, I think every other game they can pretty much win, but that game is gonna tell the tale for the season.
Oh, listen, it'll probably come down like it did last year. Whoever wins that Orange Blossom Classic will probably win the SWAC. Because that SWAC East, that's a strong division, man. Like I keep telling people now, The thing about the SWAC right now, if that Alabama State program can compete against Alabama A&M and can compete against those SWAC East people, that's going to help the SWAC. We need, out of the 2 Texas schools, Texas Southern and Prairie View, we need one of those schools to become a perennial SWAC power. We need one of those schools either take. Now, personally, I think it would probably be Prairie View. I just don't know. My problem with Texas Southern is they change presidents too often. And people have to understand. See, winning and having a great program starts in the president's office. Listen, I tell everybody all the time, I'm so happy that Deion Sanders is in the SWAC, but that started with President Hudson, and that started with A.D. Ashley Robinson. And that's what a lot of us don't have at our SWAC schools. We don't have that dominant president who has a plan or a vision to make their school a powerhouse. President Hudson and A.D. Robinson, they had a plan.
Contrarian thinker says JSU falling apart. Why you say that?
Say what now?
You saying that because one person left? JSU gonna be all right.
Man, listen, JSU got so much talent it ain't even fun. He's not going to be missed. Let me just tell you this: that young man that was that linebacker, I think his name was Hampton. Isn't that his name? Hampton.
Yep. Keontae
He's
Hampton.
not going to be missed. Keontae Hampton's not going to be missed. I just somebody was telling me the other day that Deion's son has hurt himself. He's got a torn ACL. Man, they got so many great defensive backs. It's not even funny. I mean, that defensive backfield is loaded.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Okay. They are stockpiling talent at Jackson State right now. Listen, I don't have to tell y'all. You'll see it in
the only weakness I could see Jackson State having is probably the running back position. If the running back position, I'm talking about. No, what I'm talking about, if they do have a weakness, that probably will be it. I'm not saying that's their weakness. I'm saying if they do have a weakness.
Yeah, listen, right. They got backs galore, man.
Yeah.
That kid from Texas that was out last year, that kid has pro potential. If he comes back as strong as he was when he went out.
Is that number 8?
That kid from DeSoto. No, he was really good in the spring. He was from DeSoto, Texas. What's his name? He was from Texas. He got hurt last year. He didn't really play during the season in the fall.
Oh, you talking about Alexander?
I think he went.
Alexander.
Yeah. Well, that's right. What's his full name?
I can't remember his first name. But yeah, I know you're talking about.
You're right. That's him.
Yeah.
Listen, that kid right there has pro potential. Okay, you're right. Jacktown, you're right. Tyson Alexander, man, that's a big timer, man. That kid number 8 that came from the junior college, that kid's a big timer. Now, as far as scrap and hustle, I love that kid that transferred, I think, from Miles College that was videotaping the team. I like that kid, man. That kid comes with an explosion, a burst. Now, what I want them to get and I want to see more of is a power back. I want to see a power, because I like a thunder and lightning combination when you're running one back.
So now that kid Hunt,
those guys are speed.
That kid Hunt is really strong. Like, he's a big back, so. Yeah,
let me tell you, man, they got backs. They got backs. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Jackson State, the biggest issue, and what I'm hearing now is that they kind of solved that was offensive line. It was offensive line. But I'm hearing that, and we're going to see, because, Jackson State's spring game is going to be on ESPNU, so we'll get a chance to see it. Guys, what I'm hearing, man, that offensive line has come together. They got some pieces. It's just a matter of putting it together. My thing, too, is are they going to be able to adapt to that new system? I think his name is Coach Bartolome or something. He's bringing in that new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Brett Bartolome.
How's that going to look? But from what I'm hearing, everything is looking good. I think everything is looking good. Now, I haven't had a chance to talk to anybody about the special teams because, I believe in special teams. But we will see. Like I say, come, I don't know what that date is, but I think it's the 20-something. That's the date that they will be on ESPNU, their spring game. But
Hoop Jargon says, I think Cordarius is who to look for y'all. That boy's a beast.
Oh, yeah. Man. That kid is awesome, man.
Man, he reminds me of what's the quarterback? I mean, not the wide receiver from the Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys, the one that used to throw up the X.
Brian.
Dez Bryant, yeah, he kind of remind me of him a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this kid is gonna turn. The thing with him is, you got to keep him consistent. Got to keep his head is right. This kid is. I've seen film from him on high school. This guy's gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah.
This guy's gonna be awesome.
And we need kids like that to stay.
You know,
we need them to. I said we need kids like that to stay at HBCUs and go into the NFL from HBCUs. You know, I don't want to see all this transferring to a Power 5 your last year and all that kind of stuff, because as soon as you get drafted,
Let me tell you something. When you got 1 year of eligibility and you transfer to a Power 5, you getting ready to sit the bench. Just like, remember that kid from Jackson State that left and went up to Michigan?
Yeah.
Didn't he sit the bench?
Yeah, I think he played like 2 games.
He would have played at Jackson State. What was that wide receiver's name? He left. He was an outstanding wide receiver during the spring.
Dalen Baldwin.
Then he left and transferred. What was his name?
Dalen Baldwin.
Dalen Baldwin. He should have stayed his behind in Jackson. Yeah. He was rarely used at Ann Arbor for the Michigan State Wolverines. He'd have come out better staying at Jackson.
Yeah, I think he left because they was gonna take him down to a partial scholarship, and
you know that was bad. But I guess he did it because I think he was from Detroit. Was he from Detroit?
Yeah, he's from Michigan.
Where was Dalen Baldwin from?
I don't know what city he's from, but I know he's from Michigan.
Yeah, I kind of want to say he was from Detroit. I think he was trying to get closer to home, or might have been a boyhood dream to play for the University of Michigan, since he was, born and raised in Michigan. But listen, that didn't turn out well. That didn't turn out well at all. And this is another reason I wish we could get you to be on at least once a week. There is so much foolishness being hollered out by these other folk who call themselves representing and saying that they the voice of the SWAC. That's why we really need you to do at least one show a week, so we can kind of debunk some of this ignorance and all. Because one of them guys, to me, that show is nothing but gossip. None of that stuff he talks about is based on facts or data or nothing. It's just pure gossip. Okay, and that's why I just want to implore you to please, if you can, try to do at least one show a week.
I am, and I want y'all to hold me to that. I am.
Yeah, I hope you can do at least. And let us know when you're going to do the show. Because I'm telling you, we got a bunch of folks. We got some people just holler out anything. And I understand, because some people like negativity, and that's what they want to hear is negativity. Negativity
sells, so that's what it is.
That's right. And I hate to say this about us, but 70% of our people are crabs in the barrel. They love that foolishness. They love that foolishness, So I just hope we can get you to do at least one show a week, man, because we really need it. Yeah, I mean, you are needed. But I think I said this to you. You got integrity. You're truthful. You're not saying all kind of ignorant and foolish stuff and all of that. And that's why we really need you. And you have really been missed.
I appreciate it.
Really been missed.
I appreciate it. Well, yeah, I'm gonna be doing more lives.
If you notice, I really don't talk to nobody but you. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, I try to keep it positive. That's how I do.
Huh?
I said, I try to keep it positive. So what you think about
Yes.
What you think about what Tamika Reed is doing with JSU program, and how can the other SWAC schools?
I've talked about this about 2 weeks ago with some people here in Atlanta. Let me say this to all you Jackson State graduates who hear my voice. Go ahead on and enjoy Tamika Reed, because I'm going to be honest with you, and I say this with all respect, you're not going to have her long. Okay, here's the situation. When that young lady left the University of Georgia and she went out to Texas A&M, Georgia was looking at the coach at Ole Miss, but they decided on the coach, I think, from the University of Miami or somewhere. Now, the word was, if that lady had left Ole Miss, Tamika was going to probably get the Ole Miss job. Okay, so that's why I'm telling y'all, with all due respect, enjoy her. You're not going to have her very long. Let me give you an example why I say you're not going to have her very long. That job at Ole Miss, the head coaching job at Ole Miss, girls, that's a $2 million job. Their number 4 assistant, I think it's the number 4 or number 5 assistant, they get $200,000 at Ole Miss. Jackson we can't listen. We love Tamika and everything. We can't compete with that.
Yeah. See, the money
Listen to
thing.
me now.
That's the money
Yeah,
thing is
it's
the
the
only thing
money
they got.
thing.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
now I'm hoping that she stays a few years, kind of build Jackson State into a dynasty, and drive the price up, because that would drive the price up, and they would
Yeah.
have to pay her even more. So I'm hoping that
Yeah.
she stay at least two or three more seasons. If she could do that,
Well,
I'll be
now
satisfied.
let me just say this, and let me just say this. I remember years ago, the first time I saw Vivian Stringer, she was at a little small black college in Pennsylvania called Cheney State, and I think she played Louisiana Tech in '81. I think it was '81 or '82 for the NCAA Girls Championship, and we were looking at her, and you could tell that Cheney was not going to be able to keep Vivian Stringer. And I'm going to just be honest with you. When I look at Tamika Reed and I look at the program she got, the recruiting she's doing, Jackson ain't going to be able to hold her.
Yeah.
She's going to go Power 5. I hate
But
to say that
but
because I love what she's doing.
but if she can stay at Jackson State and build Jackson State into a powerhouse, because she already got one draft pick this year, then she's gonna have Crump and Woodard. They're gonna try to come out next year. So
Right.
and Woodard, she can dunk. Like, she has crazy athleticism. So I'm pretty sure a lot of WNBA teams are gonna be looking at her.
Now, I wanted to read what Coach Simmons said, right? He said, Mr. Ford, Kim Mulkey, her new contract runs through the 2028-29 season and has an annual base salary of $400,000 before supplementary pay raises it to a $2.5 million starting point for the 2021-22. See, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, I don't know what Jackson is paying Tamika, but Jackson ain't paying $2 million. I'm telling you now, if Tamika had gone to Ole Miss, we talking about she'd be at $2 million a year. Okay, we can't compete with that. So that's why I'm saying again, enjoy Tamika while you have her. Enjoy her, because they saw what she did against LSU. Because I keep telling everybody, to be honest, she could have won that game now. She could have won that game.
They were supposed to win that game.
That her in that LSU game was free throw shooting and guard play at the end. Other than that, because there were a couple of times they thought they had put the final blow on her, and they came back.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I say now, if you can, go ahead and enjoy Tamika. Go ahead and enjoy Tamika, okay?
And think about it. She just had a player the 25th pick in the WNBA draft. She actually went ahead of the LSU girl that was checking her.
There you go.
Afua. I think her name is Afua.
Don't think they ain't taking notice, because they look at everything.
Yeah.
Don't think they not taking notice. But like I said, just enjoy her while you have her, because I love her. I don't know if I told you this, but there are some people here in Georgia that I've talked to who say that she once coached here in Georgia. Now, they love her. They say that she has a great personality, good girl, everything. And I think she was on the junior college level when she was here in Georgia. I haven't really looked up her biography yet, but I got some people here who say that at one time she was here in Georgia. And everybody has great things to say about her. And when you have people like that, listen, the sky's the limit for them. Because you got to understand, attitude. We have a lot of talented black people, but their attitudes are not right. That's what keeps them from reaching their apex. This young lady has the great attitude, okay? Okay, now listen. Coach Simmons says, Mr. Ford, do you think Jackson State is going to reset the HBCU coaching salary? Okay, this is something I've been saying for a long time. The black colleges got it all wrong. This is what they do. Unlike a University of Georgia, University of Alabama, Auburn, Georgia Tech, the money does not go to the administration. At the black colleges, if you take in $5 million from your athletic sales, everything goes back to the administration. Then the administration divvies what they want back to you. If they want to give you crumbs, that's why Jackson State only got $15,000 to recruit with. That's not how they do it at Georgia.
Yeah.
They have an athletic foundation. Whatever monies they take up at the game, it doesn't go to the administration. It goes to the athletic foundation, and the athletic department issues out the money. That's what Jackson State's got to do. The money has got to stop going to the administration of the school, and it has to go into a Jackson State foundation. And that foundation has to be controlled by the athletic department. That's where we're going wrong at the HBCU level. The money, the athletes make the money goes to the administration, and then they divvy back some crumbs to the athletic department. That's got to stop immediately. That's got to stop. That's got to
Diamond
stop.
says, how much time is left on Coach Reed's contract? I can't really remember, but that doesn't mean anything. If she gets another offer, she can go. That's not going to keep her.
Okay, now Terry Harris said, Miss Women's coach makes $750,000. Well, Terry Harris, does Dion make $750,000 a year? Do you get my point? If she makes $750,000, she's making more than Dion.
Yep. And that's a year, so her contract probably will be like a 4-year contract. So it'll be.
If they not paying her,
it'll be up there.
Miss will pay her.
It'll be up to $2 million. It'll be a $2 million contract if they pay her 4 years. For 4 years.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So that's why I'm telling you, enjoy her while you can. Now, if she's one of those people that just wants to be in Jackson, yeah, you have her. But if
that's what we hoping for. That's what we hoping for.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would really be something that she can. Yeah. If she can make Jackson State into a dynasty like that, that would really be something.
If you offer her, if Southern Cal comes in and offer her a job, and they offering her like you said, $750,000 or $2 million, don't you think she's gonna take that? Or UCLA comes in and offer her $750,000 or $2 million, don't you know she's gonna take that? Okay, you get my point now, Terry Harris.
Blue Blood said Lane Kiffin making $5 million compared to Dion like $500K. That's ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's a different world.
I feel like Coach Prime.
And
go
here's
ahead.
the thing that I need y'all to understand is that when they played that game against LSU, the whole world was watching that game. I have told y'all over and over, I watched the game because I wanted to see her program in action. I like the way she coaches. I like her assistants, and I like the talent that she got. Don't you know that those ADs at those Power 5 schools are thinking the same way I'm thinking?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
We just, I think a lot of people are just holding out the fact we're hoping that she's really thinking like, I want to build something great in Jackson, and let me do this for a couple of more years.
From Jackson, right?
Yeah, she's from Jackson. She went to Maryland.
From Jackson, yeah. I mean, you know, that's going to have some influence. But when people are offering you, like you said, $750,000 to $2 million,
yeah.
Okay, that money has a way of talking now. Money.
Alvin B said, "Would she pull the talent at those schools?" Yeah,
I think she would.
Yeah,
because to be honest with you,
players like her.
A whole lot to offer, baby.
Players like playing for her.
Let me ask you, you don't think that she could pull that same talent at the University of Southern California, at the University of California, Los Angeles, at Arizona State, at the University of Arizona? You don't think she could pull that kind of talent?
Joe Williams said, you can't just have hope. You need to have some fundraising money.
You think them people didn't see that game?
Yeah, and you have to understand.
You know?
And you have to understand, she's the type of coach that players really love. They really love to play for her.
Yes,
like, you look at the story. You look at the story with her and Ameshya, all that she did for Ameshya. Most coaches ain't doing stuff like that, you know.
There you go.
So,
she's patient.
She's patient, and she really cares about her players.
Yeah, because I think the story goes that Ameshya was pregnant or something.
Yeah.
And she still told her that we have a scholarship for you at Jackson State.
Yeah. How many coaches would do that in the Power 5? Not many. Yeah.
So the sky's the limit for her, whichever way. Of course, I want her to stay at the HBCU. Okay, Russell Haynes said, Mr. Ford, not all HBCU, just some teams. Russell, tell me what you're talking about. Please don't say all HBCUs. Well, tell me what I was categorizing HBCUs about, Russell. Do you see that right there? Russell said, Mr. Ford, not all HBCUs, just some. Okay, is that about the monies or what are you talking? Tell me what you're talking about, Russell. What you're talking about,
Mr. Ford? What you think about Deion Sanders' daughter going to Jackson State? You know, she just officially signed today.
To me, that means that he plans on staying.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see Deion leaving his daughter.
Yeah.
To me, if he's, you know, that's one of the things I loved about Deion from day one. When they said that Shedeur was coming, Shiloh was coming, to me that's all in. Because let me just tell y'all this. I don't know if y'all forgotten this, but every school in the SEC offered Shedeur at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I say all that foolishness that they hollering out on them other channels about Shedeur, only people who are foolish like that person believes that stuff. Okay? And all this stuff about Shedeur ain't going to get a shot at the pro, you out of your mind. That kid got a way of reading defenses. The only problem Shedeur had last year for me was that he didn't have an offensive line.
Yeah.
Okay? And the rest of the FCS saw that. Didn't he get the Jerry Rice Award? Did they just give that to him because he's Deion's son, or did he produce on the field? And I heard, listen, let me make you laugh for a minute.
Go ahead.
One of them talking heads, I'm sitting there listening, said that Shedeur Sanders didn't win a game for Jackson State last year. I didn't call in because I didn't want to add to that foolishness.
He won the Southern game for them.
I wanted to say to him, did you watch the Southern game?
The Alabama A&M game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this person said that he didn't win a game for them. The defense won every game. And you know what? The people who were listening, nobody refuted it. Nobody refuted it. That's why I'm telling you.
I would say that he won.
70% of our people like that kind of foolishness.
I would say that he
They like
won.
that kind of
I would say that he won the Alabama A&M game, the Southern game, the Alcorn game, the Prairie View game.
Right.
He won a few of them. He won a few games.
Listen, right. Like I said, did they give him the Jerry Rice Award because he was Deion's son, or did they give it to him because he proved himself on the field? Somebody tell me that. Did he give it to him because he's Deion's son, or did they give it to him because he proved himself on the field? Somebody tell me that.
He proved himself on the field. Shedeur stats alone proved that he was a good freshman quarterback. Which one of those ACC schools would he have started at? Well, he got offered for Bama. Let's not act like Alabama really have good quarterbacks like that. They don't. Like, aside from Tua.
I am a fan of that kid at Alabama. I think he could have started at Auburn.
Now Bryce Young, Bryce is the truth. Yeah, he's the truth. But normally,
at Auburn.
Yeah, but normally Alabama don't really. They quarterbacks not really all that.
No, they game managers. Yeah, but that, like you said, now that kid they got down there now, that Bryce Young.
Yeah,
he's gonna tear up. He's got that Russell Wilson in him. He's gonna be nice in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be nice. But like I said, somebody asked where could he have started? I think he could have started at Auburn. What you say about that, Blue? You know what you say about? I think he could have started at Auburn because I know he's better than that Knicks boy. They had that kid at Auburn named Nix. Remember him? His granddaddy was a high school football legend over here and coaching legend. He had Nix's daddy played for Auburn, and he was the offensive coordinator for Chan Gailey at Georgia Tech. Okay, that's some of the reasons why he got the nod over them other kids, because his parents there was some legacy involved. Okay, but I'm gonna say this again: Shedeur could have started at Auburn over Bo Nix if it had been done equally. Yeah.
He said I could start at Auburn.
So Blue Blood got jokes now, huh? Yeah. Hey, Blue, you know what I always note about Blue Blood now? When he's talking about that North Dakota State, he gives you a million excuses why North Dakota State won't join 1A. Isn't that right, Blue? Now, you have a lot to say. You always telling us in the SWAC what we need to do. But when it comes to North Dakota State, you got a million excuses why. Because, listen, let me tell you something. North Dakota State, I'm going to say this again. North Dakota State is a school that is a 1A school parading around as if they're FCS. Okay? But the Blue, I've never heard you say that North Dakota State needs to go 1A. I've never heard you say that.
It's before calling you out, Blue.
Yeah, Blue. Now, Blue got good stats now. Don't get me wrong. I like his stats. But I just noticed that he always got a lot of excuses when it comes to North Dakota State. Okay? But I love your stats. I do.
What do y'all think about all these coaches complaining, these coaches at the Power 5 complaining about NIL now? That's just crazy to me.
Because, listen, let me just tell you this. See, okay, let me see what Blue says. Blue says, well, it's a fact. They haven't received an offer from a conference due to location. If they get an offer, they'll go, but show me the offer. Come on, Blue. They got a dome stadium. You can't tell me that they can't get into one of those 1A conference. They don't want to go 1A. They want to dominate, like I've been telling y'all, they want to dominate FCS. They don't want to go 1A. Come on, Blue. Come on now. Run that on somebody that don't know no better. Now, let me just say this about that NIL. See, Richard Lapacek, who runs the sports studies program down in Central Florida, has always told you, he said, listen, the biggest plantation in America is the NCAA. And what they're upset about, now it's all right for Dabo Swinney to get $8-9 million a year, but he don't want them kids who play for him to get a dime, see, because he still has a slave master's mentality. So that's why they doing it. They don't want them kids to get any money, but as long as they get 8, 9, 10 million, it's okay. But they don't want the players to get nothing. See, that's a slave master's mentality. And even though slavery ended in 1865, some of them still got that same mentality today. That's why they're upset. Okay?
Yeah, I would have to say Dabo Swinney, he does come off as selfish. He does come off as putting himself before his players.
Hey, Blue, let me tell you this, and I know you're going to disagree with this, but one of the things he did when he said all that stuff about Trump and then he said all that stuff about Kaepernick, it had a major effect on his program. I know you don't believe that, Blue, but it did. It had a major effect on his program. Mm-hmm.
What is Vaughn there looking good? Zach from ULM not there yet. Okay,
let's say Blue said, the MWC said they were too far away to jump, but until someone beats them, they're in the FCS for the next 15 years, but I still love you, Miss. Yeah, and Blue, see, the problem I got with you and them other folks that you hobnob with is, see, y'all always trying to tell us how the SWAC need to do this and the SWAC need to do that, but you don't have a problem with what North Dakota State is doing. But every time you look up, SWAC need to do this, SWAC need to do that. And I like, let me tell you this, I like your stats and all of that. I do. I like your stats. But now, you know, me and you done talked about this before now. You don't know what's best for my school. Okay, let's see. Okay, I hate Dabo Swinney. He's the most annoying and hypocritical coach in the college football. Listen, let me tell you about Dabo Swinney. He represents college football, especially on that Division I level. Ain't no difference between that guy Tommy Tuberville and Dabo Swinney. Ain't no difference in them. All the what's the guy name was at? He was at Notre Dame. He was at Arkansas. He was at Minnesota. He was at South Carolina. What's his name? Lou. What was Lou's name? Y'all remember who I'm talking about? He.
Who you talking about? Lou Holtz?
Y'all know who I'm talking. Lou Holtz. Ain't no difference in all of them. Yeah. All of them were, they were awful. They were
let me ask you this, Mr. Ford. Yeah. What do you think about James Houston? Where do you think he's going in the draft? What round you think he's going, and what team? I mean,
to be honest with you,
he met with the Cowboys.
So I can look at him every weekend. But see that guy, he's got a lot. Let me see. James Houston.
He met with the Cowboys and the Chiefs. He did top 30 visits with them.
He'll turn the Chiefs out.
Yeah, I want him to go to the Chiefs. That's why I want him to go.
Every other year the Chiefs have defensive problems. So if he goes to the Chiefs, that would be it. Now I would rather for him to go to the Chiefs than to go to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Now if he goes to the AFC, especially in the West, he would definitely make it and do very well. Now that's where I would like for him to go. If he could go, say, Rams, Chiefs, Seattle, out there in the West, I wouldn't have no problem. San Francisco, anywhere like that. I'd love that.
Yeah, I'm hoping he goes to the Chiefs. Yeah, but
Yeah.
But what I want them to do when he get drafted, they better talk about Jackson State. I don't want to hear nothing about Florida. I don't want to hear them talking about Florida and bigging up Florida. I want them to talk about Jackson State.
That, the last school that you're with, that's who gets to play. Usually when they listed in the rosters, whoever was the last school, they'll give. So, listen, and I
no,
said this.
Mr. Ford,
and
Mr. Ford.
This. Now,
I said,
guys,
go ahead,
everybody
Mr.
in the nation watched Jackson State this year, okay? Everybody. Let me tell you, here in Atlanta right now, listen to this now. I want y'all to understand this. We got white people walking around with Jackson State paraphernalia on. Okay, so what's going on at Jackson State ain't no secret now. I think I called one show and I told y'all we got restaurants downtown. We got sports bars. At least 5 to 7 TVs got Jackson State. Every one of Jackson State's games are on, and it's a lot of them are majority white establishments. They want to see Dion because they remember Dion when he played for the Falcons, and they are still close to him because he played for. See, a lot of people in Atlanta still make the argument that Deion Sanders is the greatest Falcon of all time. I don't know if y'all know about that.
Yep.
But they do. They are, these people in Atlanta are still. Now,
they love
the other
Deion
thing
in
that
Atlanta.
These people in Atlanta want. They want Jackson State to meet Florida A&M here at the Dome during the regular season. Yes, they do. That's what a lot of them want.
And the reason why I say that about them bigging up Florida and Jackson State is because I've seen some media guys on Twitter where they talk about James Houston and they barely say anything about Jackson State. They lead off with, oh, he spent 4 years at Florida. They lead off with that and they talk about his time at Florida. What I don't want them to do is not mention Jackson State that much, and we don't get the credit for building him into what he is now. Because if it wasn't for Coach Prime putting him on the line and having him use his God-given talent to rush the quarterback, who knows what kind of looks he would be getting right now. So we got to give Coach Prime some credit for that.
Let me just say this about that Houston kid. I think he knows. I've heard him talk, and he knows what Jackson State did for him. Mm-hmm. And one thing I know for a fact is that he's not going to sever his relationship with Jackson State. I think he's not an ingrate. He's a kid who is very appreciative that Jackson State gave him that year and that he was able to perform at Jackson State. Somebody said, Mr. Ford, what about bringing back the Atlanta Classic with Tennessee State versus FAMU? Let me say this now. I don't know if y'all know this. I used to recruit for Tennessee State, okay? I was smitten by head coach at Tennessee State by the name of Coach Joe Gilliam Sr. I had breakfast with him, and after talking with him, I decided I wasn't recruiting for anybody but him. But let me just tell you about Tennessee State. Tennessee State hadn't done nothing right since the death of Big John Merritt. Now, and this is what makes him great. The commissioner of the SWAC offered Tennessee State a chance almost a month ago to join the SWAC.
And they still didn't do it.
Which would have redeemed their program. And to this day, do you know they haven't said nothing? So let me just tell you, as long as they don't join the SWAC or the MEAC, Tennessee State is irrelevant in my book. Now, if you want to bring back a true Atlanta Classic, how about FAMU versus Jackson State? How about FAMU versus Southern University in Atlanta? That's an Atlanta Classic. Okay, that's what we want. But as long as Tennessee State is playing stupid and acting like they don't know how to do nothing correct, as you watch their president and their athletic director. Now, let me just say this. One of the stupidest statements I heard last week, the coach of Tennessee State, Eddie George, he says on national TV that Tennessee State wants to go FBS. My thing was, you didn't even beat Arkansas Pine Bluff. Didn't Arkansas Pine Bluff beat them a year or two ago? And you talking about going FBS, and you can't even beat Arkansas Pine Bluff? How much sense do that make? See, that's what I'm talking about.
I think a lot of that was, to kind of get the fan base kind of, riled up to really come support the team.
If they want to get the fan, matter of fact, I just talked to a Tennessee State grad about 2 hours ago before I talked to you. They would love for Tennessee State to join the SWAC. Let me say this again to you, man. Tennessee State averaged, I think, less than 3,000 fans at the. They were sitting there in that Nissan Stadium that holds 60 in the blue 69,000. They couldn't get 3,000. I think one game they might have got 8,000 people in there. Okay, But you talking about you gonna join the FBS and you can't even beat Arkansas Pine Bluff. Does that sound intelligent to you?
I think he wants to start having the games on Tennessee State campus because for the spring game, a lot of the alumni and fan base came out and he liked the way they looked. So I think he's starting to think maybe we should have our games on campus.
Well, let me tell you this, and I really need to write him a letter. If you want to ignite the Tennessee State fan base, bring back Alabama State to your campus, bring Alabama A&M to your campus, bring Grambling to your campus, bring Texas Southern to your campus. That's how you ignite the Tennessee State fan base. Blue, I've told y'all over and over, them people at the graduates of Tennessee State, they don't have nothing in common with Tennessee Tech. They don't have nothing in common with those other schools that's in that OVC. That's why they averaging 3,000 people in that Nissan Stadium last year. They had 8,000 people for homecoming. They ought to be running to the SWAC. But as long as you continue to act like you are ignorant and you don't know what you do, let me tell you this. The president of Tennessee State, Dr. Glover, she has a law degree. She has a PhD in business. Mm-hmm. But it's one thing is obvious. She don't know how to run no athletic program. Okay? She don't know how to do it. Okay, somebody said, Mr. Ford, will FAMU having an FBS game before the JSU game help or hurt them in the Classic? Well, you know what? I really don't know. All I know
it depends on how they perform, in my opinion. If they have a good competitive game,
gonna be better. They got they brought in Gene Chizik to run the defense. He went and got Lonnie Galloway. Lonnie is a secondary specialist. Let me tell you something. North Carolina. Let me say this quickly. There are several schools in the ACC that are totally underachieving. North Carolina is one of them. Virginia Tech is underachieving. I believe that Mario Cristobal is going to bring the University of Miami back. They were underachieving. Georgia Tech is pathetic. They are pitiful. They are straight up pathetic, okay? If you don't know it, I'm sorry. But they are pathetic.
Okay? Virginia Tech ain't been good since Michael Vick.
There are a lot of underachieving teams in that ACC right now. It's a lot of them.
But I think if FAMU have a good competitive game against them, that will get them tuned up for Jackson State. But if they get blown out, then maybe they'll limp into Jackson State and not have a good game. But who knows? They could take that blowout and come in mad. You know, come in mad in Miami and give Jackson State a good game.
Let me say this to you. The people at Florida A&M will tell you that their biggest rival is Bethune-Cookman. But let me just say this. Let us say this straight. The biggest rival for FAMU right now is Jackson State. I don't care who gets hurt. They're going to play. When they come into Miami and they clash in that Orange Blossom Classic, they're going to play. They're going to play because, see, the people in Tallahassee and around Florida, they feel like the people at Jackson State stole something from them. And that was that SWAC championship and an opportunity to come and take over Atlanta in that that Celebration Bowl. Now, let me tell you this. They bragged about Jackson State brought 50,000 people to the Celebration Bowl. See, the people of Florida A&M are saying if they come, they bring in 65 to 70,000. So you got to understand, the biggest, really, and a lot of people might disagree with this, one of the biggest rivalries in the SWAC right now is that FAMU versus Jackson State thing. That's a big rival. And let me tell you something. The people that are in Tallahassee got a bitter taste about that 7-6 game last year. Don't let nobody fool you.
Laquan says,
really bitter taste about it.
Laquan says if Shedeur wasn't playing for his dad, he wouldn't be starting anywhere else. Come on, man.
That's not true.
You don't think he would be starting at FAU?
That's not true. That's not true.
That's what he was committed to.
Not true.
He would definitely be the starting quarterback at FAU.
Y'all listening to that stuff on that other station over there, but y'all got to understand a lot of that stuff over there is gossip. None of that stuff is based on facts. None of that stuff is based on truth. Now, yeah, he made some freshman mistakes. Like I tell everybody, one of the things I hate is when he tries to come out of the pocket and, try to imitate Lamar Jackson. Yeah, that's a problem. Instead of doing like Tom Brady, stepping up in the pocket and making the throw.
Yeah, holding on to the ball too long.
But let me tell you something.
I said he holds on to the ball too long sometimes, but
Yeah,
most
sometimes
freshmen
he
do
holds
that.
on to the ball too long.
Most freshmen do that,
I'm
though.
going to say this again to y'all. The biggest problem that Shadur had last year was that he had a subpar offensive line. That was his biggest problem. And that stuff that y'all hearing on them other stations that talking about they represent the SWAC, I've told y'all over and over, that stuff is personal. None of that stuff true. That's gossip. That's gossip. Okay? I'm going to say it again. Did the FCS give him the Jerry Rice Award because he was Deion Sanders' son, or did he earn it? I say he earned it. Okay? You got another question for me? You see another?
Yeah, Tom Brady is not about to be working with a scrub. If Tom Brady is taking his time out, working with him, he sees something in the kid.
There you go. I see something in him. I used to coach quarterbacks. And I'm going to say this to y'all again. I hope I have a tremendous respect for Willie Simmons. But Coach Simmons, if you can hear my voice, please don't play games about that Rashard McKay and this Musa kid. That kid proved Saturday that Rashard McKay is not on that kid's level. Let me tell you something. That kid has a rocket for an arm. He has a cannon. He sees the play before it even forms. He makes the wide receivers play. He gives FAMU a vertical game. Let me tell you something. This kid Musa, who transferred from Vanderbilt, this is the best quarterback FAMU has had since they had a kid named Curtis Pulley, who transferred to Florida A&M from the University of Kentucky. And at the time, the coach was Joe Taylor. He had the dumbest offensive staff that I can remember. He had a guy, a little fat guy, that eventually became the head coach at Fayetteville State. He ruined that kid. He didn't have a system for him. It was kind of like, you know how y'all praise, what's the guy at Jackson State? He's the running back coach. They call him Flea. Gary Harrell. Yeah. Let me tell you about Gary Harrell. I know y'all don't know this. A lot of you probably don't forgot this. Gary Harrell had a kid named McGee. He came from Pittsburgh. This kid should be in the NFL right now. Howard University did nothing for that kid as a football player, and Gary Harrell did nothing for him. I think he's a quarterback coach or something at Western Kentucky. Let me tell you something. When that kid was at Howard, they didn't go get no offensive lineman for him. They didn't go get no wide receivers for him. They did nothing for him. And the kid was the truth. He was actually supposed to go to the Pitt Panthers, but the year that he came out, the head coach was fired, and that's how he ended up at Howard University, and they did nothing for him. Nothing.
I feel like Howard don't really take their football program that serious.
They don't. Yeah. They don't. And let me tell you something. One of the things that hurt to me so bad, Howard University has a game in MetLife Stadium. That's the home of the New York Giants and the New York Jets. Instead of inviting up Florida A&M, Southern University, Jackson State, Alabama A&M, one of those schools, okay, they bring up Morehouse, somebody they going to beat 40 or 50 to nothing. It was just awful. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
And shout out to Morehouse. They got
listen.
Yeah, they got some new. They got some.
But when we talking about college football,
yeah,
Morehouse is supposed to play Clark. They're supposed to play Savannah State. They play Tuskegee. Them kind of folks like that. That's who they're supposed to play. You got a chance to go in the MetLife Stadium. Howard University should have brought in one of the major powers from the Southwestern Athletic Conference. That's what you were supposed to do. You punked out by bringing in Morehouse. You ruined that. You could have made that a major bowl if you had brought in Jackson. You had brought in Southern Florida A&M. You had brought in Grambling. That's who you're supposed to bring to New York or to the Meadowlands. You see another question for me?
Speaking of Grambling, what you think they're gonna do this season?
Listen. I was so impressed. I saw the spring game. Okay, here's the situation. Grambling needs to go and get this kid. He's in the transfer portal. He's at the university. He played last year at the University of Florida. His name is Emory Jones. He's from Georgia. I think he was at Heard County, came out of high school 4 or 5 star. That's the difference with Grambling right now. Listen, I love that kid from Florida, from UCLA, but he got a little problem in the pocket. He has an experience problem. I don't think Noah can lead Grambling to a SWAC championship. So, Coach, I know you know about him because you know about everybody. And I'm going to say this to Coach Hugh Jackson. The kid you need to go and get, he's in the transfer portal. His name is Emory Jones. Everything else is stacked at Grambling. They got good-looking athletes. Listen, they got like 25 kids coming in for the summer. You didn't even see the whole team. The defense is organized. I love, I've always liked that guy. The defense coordinator is from Alcorn, okay? He does a great job. I like what I see on the offense. The only thing that is missing to me is an experienced or outstanding quarterback. And the guy that you need, Coach Hugh Jackson, his name is Emory Jones. He's in the transfer portal.
You don't think the kid from Miami?
You are threatened to win the SWAC.
You don't think the kid from Miami is going to do anything?
Give me his name now.
I forgot his name. He has a foreign name. I can't remember his name.
Okay.
But he came from Miami.
He's at Grambling?
Yeah, he's at Grambling. He's a four-star guy. Four-star quarterback.
Now, he came from the University of Miami?
Yep.
Let me do a little research on that. Let me find out.
Matter of fact,
I'm telling everybody, the thing that can propel Grambling to a SWAC championship is an outstanding quarterback. And for me, I think it's this kid, Emory Jones. I don't know if y'all remember, but he gave Alabama hell last year. If you ask me, I thought the Florida should have beat Alabama. I thought Florida should have beat them. But he was the quarterback. I'll check on this kid that you're talking about. I hadn't looked at the roster lately, but I will. But they got everything. They got I like the way the defense looks. I like the offensive line. And they got help on the way. I like the running back. Only thing was missing was that big-time or outstanding quarterback. And I'm telling you now, it's Emory Jones.
Yeah.
Any more questions for me?
I think Coach Hugh is going to shock a lot of people. A lot of people think that,
I think he can too.
A lot of people think because of his demeanor that he's kind of like a soft coach. But I think he just has a coaching style that he pushes his players, but he doesn't have to do it forcefully. Like he could just, he know how to talk to them and motivate them. But a lot of people thought because the way he did in the NFL that he won't be able to do it in college. But college player, it's different talking to a college player and a player that's making $1 million to play football.
The main thing he's trying to do right now is get his staff together. I think the defensive staff is together. The main thing is his offensive coordination. Once he gets his offensive coordinator right, everything will be right. Grambling is there's a will, there's a desire. They want to take they saw Deion Sanders and what Deion Sanders did at Jackson State. Okay. Oh, you go back to the Eddie Robinson years. They dominated, and that's what they want to do again. You got one?
My bad, y'all. He's from UCLA, not Miami. I don't know why I said Miami.
That's Halloween.
Yeah,
that's
Halloween.
The kid I was talking about.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you what I see with Halloween. He's a big athlete, and he's a big kid. Halloween's got to be about 6'4", 6'5", maybe 220, 225. He can really run for a big guy. But here's the thing. You got to play him like Dan Reeves used to play Michael Vick. And what Dan Reeves would do with Michael Vick, he would give him two progressions. He would give him the receiver that the play was called to. Then he would give him the backside receiver who was always running deep. And then after that, he told Michael to take off. That's what they got to do with Halloween. But see, Hugh is a Norm Child disciple. See, they want 4 and 5 people, and they want you to go through at least 4 to 5 progressions. If this wide receiver ain't open, go to this wide receiver. If this wide receiver ain't open, go look at the tight end. If that tight end ain't open, look at the backside. If the backside ain't open, look at the running back. See, that's too much for Halloween. Halloween needs 2 receivers to look at, and if they not open, take off. You play him like you played Michael Vick.
Someone asked who should JSU start at receiver. I'm doing Quay Davis, Kevin Coleman. Yeah. I'm keeping Rook out there. I'm bringing in Travis Hunter every now and then. And what's the other guy? It's another quarter. The one with the locks. He's pretty good too. I can't remember his name. They got
so many. What about the Hooks kid? You forgot the
Hooks
kid?
Shane Hooks. Yep. Yeah, I would ask. Yeah.
That receiving room for Jackson State, it might be the best receiving room in the FCS now. They got some dogs. They got some people, man.
Oh, I forgot about Malachi. I forgot about Malachi.
Huh?
I said I forgot about Malachi.
Yeah. Yeah, Malachi is probably going to be preseason FCS. He's probably going to be either first or second team. Listen, personally, to me, from what I see with Jackson State, it's so many people they can start. They are deep at wide receiver. Like I said, the main thing I'm going to be watching when they're on TV, I guess in a week or 2 weeks, I'm watching that offensive line. That's the number one thing I'm looking at. Because to me, they got everything else. Now the other thing I want to know is this new coordinator going to use his tight end? I'm a tight ends person. Okay, I can't stand teams that always just go with a center and two guards and two tackles. Sometimes I like one tight end, I like two tight ends, and hey, I can go with three tight ends. Because when you got tight ends on the field, you got power. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you something, when you put two tights, baby, sometimes you'll overpower defense every time. I don't know if y'all forgot Peyton Manning. Remember them two tights he had? One of them was Dallas Clark. He was the wing tight. Then they had another guy from Clemson on the strong side. If you go back to Dan Fouts had Kessler and Winslow as the wing tight, and he had Greg McCrary, who came out of Clark College. He was on one side. I like 1 and 2 tight ends, sometimes 3 tight ends. That's why I watch Iowa State. I can't think of that coach's name at Iowa State, but he runs 1, 2, sometimes 3 tight ends. I like that.
Let me ask you this question.
Who else likes to do that? Belichick.
Let me ask you this question. What coach do you think? What coach in the SWAC do you think is on the hot seat? If they don't win this year, they gone.
Oh, it's the guy at Bethune-Cookman. He's got to go. He's holding them back. He's had enough time. That guy left him loaded. Jenkins left Bethune and went to Alabama State. Okay, the first year that Sims had it, he won this MEAC championship. That team has been going down every year. And let me tell you something. There are athletes that's a good staff down there at Bethune-Cookman. Personally, I think this is his last year. I was surprised that they brought him back. But I know that they're having money problems down at Bethune-Cookman. But he's definitely on the hot seat. So Sims. No doubt about it. It's Sims.
Grant Ann said, what about JSU defense? Will it be as good as last year defense? I think it's going to be better.
I think so.
It's going to be even better.
I think it's going to be better. But see, one of the things I want y'all to always remember, you got a defensive mind as your defense coordinator. That Dennis Thurman. See, I remember when Dennis Thurman played for USC back in the 70s. And I remember he was drafted as a defensive back for the Dallas Cowboys. But you got to remember now, your defense coordinator at Jackson State was once the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. He was once the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets. How many teams in the SWAC can touch that? That's what you got at Jackson State. Long as Dennis Thurman is there, I'm happy. You will be good.
So, speaking about Bethune-Cookman, so if Bethune-Cookman was to get rid of that coach, do you think they should go a celebrity coach like the trend that's going on in the SWAC now? Or do you think? Well, they
probably will. You got to remember now that Lynn Thompson is gone. Reggie Theus is the AD. They're going to go with somebody that they don't really have to pay a whole, because they got a lot of financial issues at Bethune-Cookman right now. They got tricked on a dormitory or something, they overcut the cost on it. That old racist governor down there in Florida, DeSantis, who wants to be president of the United States, he once gave them $17 million to help them out. Okay? The founder of Bethune-Cookman, Mary McLeod Bethune, there's still a lot of people who respect what she did, and they give the school money. The main thing at Bethune is this: if you lose to Florida A&M 3 years in a row, you're not gonna stay there. You got to go, because that's what they live for every year. That game for Bethune-Cookman is everything. So whoever they bring in, if he loses to FAMU on a consistent basis, he won't be there very long.
Kevin Brown said Eric Reed will work for BCU. That's if he want to leave Miami. He has a good job in Miami.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
yeah, he's with. I really don't see him leaving Miami to come to Bethune. I might be wrong, but I don't see that. But
he would probably come if he really want to coach. If he really want to coach, but he has a sweet job in Miami.
What Reggie will do is Reggie will try to make a Hugh Jackson type, somebody that's been at a Southern Cal, a UCLA. Somebody. Reggie's contacts are on the West Coast. Reggie played at UNLV for Jerry Tartaglia. You remember that, the Running Rebels. He's from, I don't know if he's from Los Angeles, but he's from California. So I look for him to bring somebody from California to Bethune-Cookman. But it'll be some kind of celebrity. Because, you know, hey, man, I don't mean no disrespect, but black people, we worship celebrities. Okay, that's just how we are. We worship celebrities.
Ask Mr. Ford, does he think Jerry Rice would be at Valley in some way?
Valley's got a good coach, y'all. Ain't nothing wrong with Vincent Dancy.
Yeah,
I like what Dancy's
I like him
doing.
too.
Now, here's the thing. I'm hoping that Dancy becomes a power in the next 2 years. I know the guy who is his offensive coordinator. He was once at a high school here called Lithonia High. Okay? I like the fact that he loaded up with these Power 5 kids and with them junior college kids, and he didn't fool with no high school kids. Okay? So he's got all of this depth. So, like I tell everybody, the biggest issue for most black colleges is quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
What's it going to be? Does he have an outstanding quarterback? If he has an outstanding quarterback, I think they're going to do big things and it'll beat him. That's what I'm hoping for.
Roosevelt Greenwood said, Mr. Ford and Swag Buzz, who will take over for Shiloh in that defense?
They got so many.
Yeah.
Listen, this boy John Huggins, who I think they're not playing enough. Listen, when they put John Huggins out there, John Huggins is a pro. Listen, ain't nobody about Shiloh when that boy John Huggins.
You know who I really
John
like?
Huggins. Who is it?
You know who I really like? Silman. I think he could be the leader of that defense. That guy is really good.
Together.
Yep.
Oh yeah, but that Silman kid, he's got that Raider in him. He's like them old Raider defensive back. He will come up and try to knock you out.
Yeah.
That Silman kid, he's something else. Now Shiloh's not gonna be missed. I wish him the best with his recovery. I heard that he has a torn ACL, and I hope that he does everything he can to get back on the field. But listen, he's not gonna be missed. He's not going to be missed. Listen, man, I keep telling y'all, every room is solid at Jackson State. The biggest question mark is that offensive line, and I want to see how that Brett Bartolome is going to run his offense. Those are the question marks. That's it.
Someone asked earlier, I can't remember who it was. They asked why does the MEAC continue to beat the SWAC every year in the bowl game?
Well, here's the thing about the MEAC. The SWAC is about offense. The MEAC is about defense. And the other thing about the MEAC, they always try to be solid, defensive line wise, offensive line. In other words, they want their front seven to be solid, and they want their offensive line to be solid. Okay, and that's one of the reasons why the MEAC dominates the SWAC in that Celebration Bowl. But let me just say this to y'all. See, a lot of you are very young, and you go with whatever you see on television. See, everybody was so shocked at what South Carolina State did to Jackson. But let me just say this to y'all. Y'all don't know who Buddy Pugh is. Buddy Pugh ain't no Johnny-come-lately. Okay, Buddy took over the MEAC in the early 2000s when FAMU made the mistake of getting rid of Billy Joe. Billy Joe and a guy named Billy Hayes had ran the MEAC from about 1990. Let's see, Billy came about 94, 95. All right, and then they got rid of him in 2003. From 94 to 90, from 1994 till about 2003, the MEAC was run by Billy Joe at Florida A&M and a guy named Billy Hayes at North Carolina A&T. When Billy Joe was fired by Florida A&M, that guy Buddy Pugh dominated the MEAC for many, many years. He's been there over 20-some years. It's just these Johnny-come-latelys don't know about him. He's put players in the pros.
You still there, Mr. Ford? Yeah, well, I can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so listen, that wasn't no shock about what they did, because you have to understand, man, that guy Buddy Pugh is a great coach, man. Sometimes to me, he just doesn't get his notoriety like he should, but a lot of people now have begun, after what the showing that South Carolina State put on in that Celebration Bowl, they know what it's about when we talk about Orangeburg football with them Bulldogs of South Carolina State.
Let me say this real quick, Mr. Ford. Hey, if anyone y'all want to call in, y'all can call in. I keep Mr. Ford on the line, and I just add you to the call. So if anyone y'all want to call in, y'all can call in. All right. Will Delaware State or Norfolk challenge South Carolina State for the title? No, I think South Carolina State is probably going to win again, in my opinion.
Did y'all see that? Listen, let me just say this to all of y'all. Did y'all see the athletes that he brought in because of that win in the Celebration Bowl? Listen, South Carolina State loaded up. They loaded up. And listen, here's the thing about it. They are a very young team. I think that whole offensive line was nothing but freshmen and sophomores. I think the same thing with the defense. I think the only somebody they're really losing is that kid that's gonna make it. They got one cornerback. That kid is the truth, man.
The Kobe Durant.
There you go. That kid is the truth, man.
Yeah, he's
but
going.
Listen, other than that, they're not really losing nothing. They'll be back. Now, to be honest with you, that's who Jackson State. They want South Carolina State to come back because they want to redeem themselves. They want South Carolina State.
That kid, Shaq Harris. I mean, not Shaq Harris. I know his first name, Shaq. What is his last name?
He's about the big wide receiver.
Yeah, the big wide receiver. He's going to the NFL. Yes.
Yeah, he's a pro. He's a pro, man.
He was killing them.
Now, I'm going to tell you one of them that got hurt in that Celebration Bowl. I think he's going to be nice, too. His name was Kendrell Flowers. He transferred to South Carolina State from, I want to say, Wake Forest. Listen. And then you should look at the running backs they recruited. You should look at the running back. That is right there. Workman said, returning 19 of 22 starters. That says it all right there, baby. It says, Mr. Ford, believe me, Jay. Yeah, I agree with that, too. They will be better prepared. I agree with that, too. But I know for a fact that Jackson State wants to redeem themselves against South Carolina State. In other words, they want South Carolina State to come back to the Celebration Bowl, and they want a rematch.
Mr. Ford, besides Bethune-Cookman, what other team in the SWAC do you see having being one of the worst teams in the SWAC, having a bad season?
Okay, right now, I don't like what I'm hearing. I love Coach down at Alcorn, but there's a lot of internal stuff going on down there that I think is going to hurt them.
You think Alcorn? What about UAPB?
What
about UAPB? Someone said Alabama State.
No, Alabama. They just got. He's got a 3-year mirror. He's got a 3-year wonder to work with. But you're right. UAPB, that guy's in trouble. If he don't come up, he could be out. He's got to win at least 7 or 8. If he don't, he might be out. He might be out. Like I said, Bethune right now for me, that guy's seat is burning hot. The guy at UAPB.
Okay, Mr. Ford, we got a caller coming in. Let me add this caller to the live. Hold on, just
all right, listen. Have a good night. Okay.
No, you good, Mr. Ford? You can stay on.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, I would just like to give the opinion, Mr. Ford's opinion, and yours as well, is that why we are not getting more exposure from the other networks like OWN and BET and TV One. Because I think that's what we need, more exposure in order to grow the SWAC, or just grow HBCU schools, period. Just want to get his opinion on that.
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
You go ahead, Ms. Ford.
Okay, now OWN is Oprah Winfrey. Okay? What Oprah's doing right now, Oprah, when she first started that network, she was hemorrhaging money. So she turned her network over to Tyler Perry. Tyler likes them old slutty movies, you know. That's what he likes. And I don't know if we need to go talk to him because he's from New Orleans. Don't get me wrong now. If he's from New Orleans, he knows all about Grambling. He knows about Southern. And so we probably need to go and talk with him. There needs to be communication between Dr. McClellan and Tyler Perry. Okay, you said TV One. I think that's Miss Hughes, Kathy Hughes. Listen, Kathy Hughes went to a boarding school in Mississippi called Pineywood. Is it Pineywood? What's that boarding school? Somebody tell me what's the name of that
Pineywood
school
is a school in Mississippi, yeah. might be
so
Pineywood.
she knows about the SWAC. If she went to Pineywood, she knows all about them black schools down there in the SWAC. So somebody needs to talk to her. What's the other one you mentioned? I know you said BET. BET is owned by a white company. We can forget that.
Now,
that is somebody right there. Jordan Williams said. He said BET is owned by Viacom. There you go. You can forget that. We can forget. Now that's who helped us out back when I was in school, because we looked forward to BET publicizing them black college games.
And before, I think this year, what Dion has done is outstanding. But I think,
without a doubt,
I think it's going to be a surprise this year with a lot of the SWAC schools, because a lot of these schools went to the transfer portal, and I think we're going to see a totally different season this year. And also, I would like to see us play more mid-majors out of conference schedule, because I think that's where we can find out. That's how we can really find out, what expose our brand, because we can compete with it, no doubt. I mean, we can compete with it.
Y'all know. Let me say this real quick, y'all. So I think Roland Martin. I think all the SWAC schools need to really do some business with him, because he has a huge platform and he has an affinity for HBCUs, even though he went to Texas A&M. But he really wants to see HBCUs come up. So I really wish the conference get with him, because he has like almost 1 million subscribers on his platform. He has a huge platform, and so they really need to get him to start really covering all the SWAC games, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, have a game of the week. I mean, I mean, for example, you just look at Alabama State play Alabama A&M. You talking about 60,000 folks. Alcorn play Jackson State, 60,000. Florida A&M play Bethune-Cookman, 60,000. So and so we can, I just think we need to put together a package, or put together a presentation so these kids can get more exposure, because I think a change is coming. I really do. And because I watched basketball, I watched Notre Dame play Howard University.
I did too. Yeah.
And I was so proud of Howard University. I mean, they played well. And then you look at LSU girls played Jackson State. I tell you what, that lady at Jackson State, I tell you what, when she got that technical foul and she called those girls over there, they went out and played for her. You hear me? Because Jackson State have a hard time keeping her. They not to pay some money. Because she can coach and she can recruit, and it makes a difference when you play for your coach. It makes a big difference.
That's right. And listen, let me tell you, you just brought up a good point, and the point is this: the SWAC is going to have their own network. Mm-hmm. I know they want to. We dependent on the ESPN. I heard that they signed a big contract with Byron Allen, but the SWAC eventually is going to have their own network. They're going to have their own network, and we can't get around it. You got to have your own. We can't get around. And because they really, when you look at Ms. Ford, I think you remember back in the day when Grambling and Alcorn and Jackson State, a lot of them guys were going straight to the pros. I remember them days. And and they say, hey, in SEC, like, how can we compete? And Ms. Ford, maybe you can answer me this one too. I ask this question all the time. When I look at the SEC, somebody please tell me why we don't have a black head coach in the SEC. They don't have one.
Yeah, that's not happening.
We had Derek Mason was up at Vanderbilt. We once had what's that boy's name? He played for Bear Bryant. Sylvester Crooms was at Mississippi State. They fired him for no reason at all.
Right.
Let's see if we had any others. Outside the SEC, Willie Taggart was at Florida State, which is ACC. I think he coached about 15 games. He inherited a mess from Jimbo Fisher, who left and went to Texas A&M. And listen, they didn't give him a full 2 years to get the program straight. They fired him. So that lets you know they don't want no black coaches at those Division I, what I call Power 5 schools. They don't want that.
Yeah, they got rid of Kevin Sumlin.
The teams are 70% black.
Yeah, they look like black colleges. They look like black college teams. Even what's the guy? When you look at you're right, Kevin. You're right, Joker Phillips. I forgot about it. Some people have wanted Joker Phillips to come to Florida A&M, but you're right. You look at Alabama. You think you're looking at Alabama State. You do. You look just like you're looking at Alabama State.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I say if we get some TV exposure, I think we'll start getting the top athletes.
Oh yeah, we can. Listen, let me tell you something. This transfer portal and the coming of a Dion to the SWAC, this stuff is like the Underground Railroad, and the Underground Railroad leads to these black institutions now. These kids don't realize these people treating them like a dog. You go and run 6 touchdowns for the University of Minnesota, and then after the game, they shoot you down in the streets like a dog. Who wants to go through that? When you could be down there having fun at Jackson State, at Alcorn, at Alabama State, at Alabama A&M, at Texas Southern, and at Prairie View.
Yep. That's why it's important. They
waking up.
Yeah, that's why it's important for us to get these guys into the league so they can feel more confident going to HBCUs.
Yeah, always remember about the league. Wherever the talent is, that's where the league is going.
Yep.
Listen, Jerry Rice was recruited. When Jerry Rice came out of Mississippi Valley might have had 2,500 students. It was in Itta Bena, way off the beaten path. But let me tell you something. Jerry Rice had the talent, so everybody was coming to Itta Bena. So as long as you got the talent, the pro scouts coming, because that's what they feed off of, talent. You got the talent, they coming.
Yes.
Oh, somebody said, what happened to Todd Willingham? He's with that that playoff committee people. That's what he's doing now.
He with that playoff committee.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
And in my opinion, the best coach in the SWAC is that boy at Valley. That he can coach.
Vincent Dancy, no doubt. Yeah.
He coach.
Listen, I want to see him roll these next 2 years, and see that's gonna make. See, let me tell you something. See, when you look at a conference, you don't look at the top teams. You look at the teams in the middle. It's just like you're doing your math equation. Remember, we had the median, the mode, the mean, and the median. Look at the middle teams. See, these are the schools that's going to help bring the SWAC up. Prairie View, Texas Southern, Alabama State, Bethune-Cookman. See, if we can get those programs rolling, baby, let me tell you something. The ranking of the SWAC is going to go out the roof. But we got to get them programs rolling.
Yeah.
And what you think Alcorn going to do this year? I know. I heard.
Well, I told him, I love.
He said that they're not going to do
Coach
good.
McNabb. I just don't like some of the stuff I'm hearing about his relationship with the president and with the past AD, and I just think that stuff is going to hurt them. Now, I know if he can, he'll have them right, because I know him, and they'll play hard. But I just think some of that stuff is going to affect them.
Well,
this might be the year that Dancy gets them. This might be the year that Mississippi Valley gets them.
Well, I watched when Alcorn played. They got to get first. I don't like the coordinator. So when I watched the game when they played Jackson State on the YouTube,
right.
And the kid number 31 was killing them. And I stopped watching them when it was in the end of the third quarter. It was 4th and 1, and he did a rollout with Felix. And number 31 had been killing him the whole game.
Right. I know that kid. He came from Northwestern.
Yeah.
Real quick, y'all. Let me say this to the people in the chat. If you want to call in, you can call in. The number's on the screen, and I'll get you on the show. You can talk to Mr. Ford and me and tell me, ask whatever you want to ask. Go ahead, y'all.
Yeah, and you, man, you have to tell you something, and you're doing a good job too. I mean, I don't know. You need to tell us what we do so we can get you out there, because you and Scott, man, y'all doing a good job with this HBCU. Bringing out the HBCU sports, man. Because I don't remember us being this, having this much publicity when I was playing. Do you, Mr. Ford, remember this much publicity about HBCU football?
Listen, if you go back to when Steve McNair was he was the quarterback at Alcorn. I think that was in the 90s, early 90s. The nation was on top of him. They were watching. I remember the ESPN broadcast all his games. He was on the front page of Sports Illustrated. He was because what they were saying was that he was the best player in the country, but he was at a black institution, and they felt like since he was at a black institution, there's no way he should get their Heisman Trophy, because there were a lot of people. The Sports Illustrated came out with an article called "Give Him the Heisman." And they were saying that this kid deserved the Heisman, which he did. But they end up giving it to a guy named Rashad Salam because he played at a Power 5 school.
Power 5, yes. I do remember that. And if you look at today's football offense, this was Coach Cooler was doing when Jerry Rice was playing.
Oh, yeah, but listen, and let me just tell you this. You know how I talk about Tennessee State? That playbook that Coach Cooley had, it came from Tennessee State. It came from a guy, an old man who was a chemistry teacher. They called him Cat Coleman. I think he went to Alcorn back in the 40s. But he was at Jackson State with Big John Merritt. When Big John Merritt went to Tennessee State in 1963, he took that guy, Cat Coleman. That was his offense coordinator. His defense coordinator was Joe Gilliam Sr., who was the father of Joe Gilliam Jr. But he took all of them to Tennessee State. But that playbook that Cooley was running with the fifth wides and all of that stuff came from Tennessee State. All that came from Yeah, see, Joe
JSU Tiger said
played center for Big John Merritt at Jackson State.
Said USM wanted McNair to play DB.
Yeah, they did.
That's crazy.
Not only that, the University of Miami wanted him, but they wanted him as a DB too. At one time, he held the Mississippi record for a high school player and interceptions. That was McNair.
Yes. And
rest in peace, McNair.
Say what now?
No, I said rest in peace, McNair. Rest his soul.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was one of the greatest, man.
And Mr. Fred, you are right about Coach Pugh. Man, I watched that game. Jackson State just got our coach. I mean, because they didn't have it. I mean, Jackson State was a better.
Listen, man, that guy's a legend, man. Buddy Pugh is a legend, man. He's not, he's an older man, he just, Deion's a celebrity. Okay, so I say this, and a lot of people get mad with me. We worship celebrities. Okay, we worship celebrities. That man's not a celebrity. That man's an old-line football coach, old school. And they put together a game plan that was just flawless, man.
I just wonder why Jackson State, they won the SWAC, and they're loaded. I just wonder why they're out of conference schedule this week. I would love to see them.
Well, what they're doing now, Jackson State is trying to go with what's going to make them the most money, which I don't have no problem with that either now. Like, I don't know if I said this earlier. See, the thing with the black colleges is they got to stop giving their money that they make on the athletic endeavors, giving it to the administration. They've got to establish a Jackson State foundation. That money ain't supposed to go to the administration. It's supposed to go to that foundation. And when it's in that foundation, it needs to be controlled by the athletic administration, not the president, not the vice president, but by the people in the athletic. It makes no sense. You made over $5 million. Jackson State made over $5 million when they played Alabama State for homecoming. I think somebody told me they made $5.2 million. Then you turn around and tell me that they only got $15,000 to recruit with? That don't make no sense. See, that's mismanagement.
Now,
that's mismanagement.
I would say as far as Jackson State's schedule goes, I think Coach Prime wants to go undefeated and he wants to dominate. Yeah. Like he wants to go undefeated and he wants to blow teams out. So that's probably why you don't see like a Power 5 school or something on there. And I think he will play a Power 5 school once he get a couple more recruiting cycles in and he feel like he had the players. Like he had the players to really compete with them.
I don't want Coach Sanders to play a Power 5. I really don't. We don't have. I would like them to play Southern Miss or Kennesaw State, mid-major. And I think, and to be honest, I think that way if Houston is a good ball player, but I think if the competition was better, I think he would be his stock would be much higher than what it is.
I think he's going to shock some people. I think he's going to go earlier than people think.
He is too, man.
I think he's going.
Let me tell you something about this Houston kid. This Houston kid can play in the middle and he can play on the end. Because I've said this over and over. That kid that they got from Missouri, what's that kid's name? Is it Aubrey Miller? Aubrey Miller's not going to play middle linebacker in the pros. He's going to the outside. He's going to be like a James Harrison. That kid, Houston, can play the middle and he can play the outside. Like you said, he's going to shock some people now.
Yeah.
If it ain't nothing but play special teams, he's going to shock some people. He's going to shock some people.
So I would just think that we play. I was looking at them. We played more. Just mid-major schedule on the out of conference. I just think they were broaden our brand a little bit more because I don't want to just keep beating up on each other. I would just because I would love to see Jackson State play Kennesaw State, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Alcorn gonna do against Stephen F. Austin. I'm just curious, just to see.
Oh yeah, you want to see what it is. Now here's what I'm on, and I said this over and over. I want Jackson State to play in Chicago. Do you know that when you go to Chicago, everybody up there, their grandmama is in Mississippi? Y'all know that?
You're not lying. You're not lying about that.
I want Jackson State to play in Mississippi. I want Grambling to take somebody to L.A., California. And I want Jackson to come here to Atlanta and play Florida A&M, or I want Southern to come to Atlanta and play Florida A&M. Okay? To be honest with you, listen, Atlanta is the home of the black college graduate. For some reason, everybody that get a degree from a black college, they feel like they can make it and be successful in Atlanta. So this is what I'm saying. I would like to see a doubleheader here at the Georgia Dome. I would like to see a doubleheader that would have Florida A&M, Southern, Grambling, and maybe Alabama State or Alabama A&M. And where we would have games all day. We'd have 2 games. We'd have a first game, then maybe a 30-minute break, then a second game. Okay? I believe that dome would be packed. I really do. Yep. And that's what I want.
You got the whole city of Jackson almost in Atlanta anyway.
That's what I'm telling you. Listen.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people in Atlanta.
Let me tell you something. If you tell all the people that went to Barbara Scotia College to meet at a certain place in Atlanta, let me tell you something. It'll be at least 100 of them. I don't care what black school it is. If you say, listen, everybody that went to Wilberforce meet at this spot, it might be 300 of them. They are here in this Atlanta area. Okay? Yep. One thing Atlanta got, we got a lot of Jackson State folks. We got a lot of Southern people. We got Alcorn people. You name it. Yeah. Grambling. We got everything here. So I'm saying, give me a doubleheader in Atlanta.
Yeah, because Alcorn played North Carolina A&T for the past 3 years.
Yeah, y'all brought big crowd. Your crowd was, every time your crowd was bigger than A&T's crowd. Every time. And A&T is almost 3 times as large. Your school is about 4,000 students, right? A&T is 13,000.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can fill the dome up. And
yeah, y'all fill it up. Jackson fill it up. FAM will fill it up. Southern will fill it up. I believe Alabama State will fill it up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt.
Oh, yeah. So that's why I said give me, at the beginning of October, give me a doubleheader. Bring Southern, FAM, Jackson, Grambling, Alabama State, or Alabama A&M. Bring them in there.
Well, yeah.
Let me sit up in that dome all day.
Well, yeah, Carl, I appreciate the call. I got another caller coming in, so I'm going to get the other person on here.
What you think Alcorn going to do this year? That last question, what you think Alcorn would do this year?
Yeah, he already said that he think they're going to be bad. So, but I think they're going to be okay. I think they're probably going to be a middle-of-the-pack team.
Well, now, let me say this. If that kid from Louisiana Tech comes through for you, I think you'll be all right. Yeah. Now, I noticed you got Cedric Thomas. I like Cedric Thomas. He's your defensive back coach. He was with Jay Hobson. He good man, okay? Right. But you got to get a quarterback. Somebody got to replace that trigger man. And if it's that kid from L.A., from Louisiana Tech, y'all will be all right.
Okay. All right. Take care. Yeah. Good job.
Thank you. I appreciate the call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that other person hung up. You can call back, call if you want to. That other person that just hung up. But yeah, Mr. Ford, I appreciate you tuning in tonight, bringing all this good game. Let's see what
like I said,
y'all got any more questions for Mr. Ford in the comments? No one in the SWAC has dominated anyone yet.
No, baby. That's why we got to play the games. We got to play the game.
All the SWAC teams have upgraded. As a result, JSU's schedule is actually stronger this year than it was in recent years. That's true.
I think I'm waiting. I want to see that Campbell game. That's the homecoming game for Jackson. That's going to be a good game. That guy's named Mike Mentor. Mike is a good guy. He has Pat White, I think, is either his offensive coordinator. Pat White played at West Virginia University. I can't think of that coach's name. That coach is now where? At Jacksonville? I think he's at Jacksonville State now. But that's going to be interesting when Campbell comes down to Jackson State for homecoming.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to trying to cover that game.
Jackson State got, like I said, Jackson State got 7 quality games. Jackson State's got to go down to Mobile and play Alabama A&M. That's going to be a good game. We didn't got to talk about that Orange Blossom Classic. Okay?
What you think Alabama A&M gonna do as a whole this year, though?
Huh?
I said, what you think Alabama A&M gonna do as a whole this year, like the whole season?
Listen, you know I'm a fan of Maynard now.
Oh yeah.
So I've been watching. I saw Cornell Maynard when he was a player, and I've seen him as a coach. Listen, I got faith in him. I think that he's gonna put it together. He's gonna be dangerous. He's gonna be a personal. Let me tell you something. They got University of Alabama, Birmingham, 0 week. They got Troy State the next week. They got Austin P, I believe, and then they got Florida A&M on the 24th. That's a gauntlet. See, let me tell you something about that UAB. That guy's name is Bill Clark, I think. That guy could coach at any Power 5 school. He's the head coach at UAB. That guy's good, man.
Okay, Mr. G.
They got a good program at UAB.
Mr. G asked a question. He said, was Jackson State the perfect fit to showcase Deion effect, or would it have been just as impactful for HBCUs if he coached at any other SWAC school? Jackson State fan base.
Jackson State.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. That marriage right there was made in heaven.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. 6 months after Jackson State signed on to be the head coach at Jackson State, the media has spent $181 million of free publicity on Jackson State. Jackson State is the most publicized HBCU in the last 2 years. There's no, even Howard, none of them can touch the fact that Jackson State is on everybody's YouTube. Jackson State is on ESPN. They on the different shows. They talk about Jackson State. Listen, Jackson State and Deion Sanders, that was a marriage made in heaven.
Yep. Yeah,
I'm a Grambling graduate.
Yeah, I don't think any other school in the SWAC would have been as impactful as Jackson State. Because Jackson State fan base.
You got to remember,
it's just another level.
Listen, when you look at the SWAC goes from Florida to Texas. The middle of the SWAC is Jackson, Mississippi. That's why it was so good that he got at Jackson State. You're in the middle of the SWAC. You got the biggest stadium in the SWAC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Listen, when Alcorn hosted the SWAC championship, they had, 20, maybe 25,000, maybe a little bit more. Listen, you had 50,000. Do you know it's a lot of Power 5 schools couldn't say they had that? You had 50,000. When you played Prime for the SWAC championship, you had 50,000 people. It's very few people. Then you go to the Celebration Bowl. You got 50,000 people at the Celebration Bowl. There are Power 5 schools that went to bowl games. They didn't have nothing closer than 50,000. That's why I say I listen to these folk on these other things. I always talking about what's wrong with the SWAC. Guys, we got some problems. But, baby, everything is looking up in the SWAC, yeah?
And
y'all
then,
got to understand that.
like, when you see Jackson State logo just beside these Alabamas and everything like that being recognized just as much as these blue blood programs, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. Listen, I don't think no other school would have been able to do that.
I'm going to say this again. Let me repeat this. We have Caucasian people in Atlanta walking around with Jackson State paraphernalia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You understand me?
I had a Jackson State hoodie on one time, and a white guy walked up to me and started striking the conversation to me about Jackson State. So they are very interested in what's going on in the SWAC.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, listen. I'm going to have to hang up now.
Okay.
School. I got to get ready for school.
Yeah, I'm about to go ahead and cut the show off.
And I'll give you a call, and y'all have a good night, okay?
I appreciate you, Ms. Ford.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. All right. So if anybody else want to call in, y'all can call in. I'm probably going to cut the show off in a minute because it is getting late. We've been on for about almost 2 hours now. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. Good conversation. Yeah, Mr. Ford is great, man. I love having Mr. Ford on. He always give good game. He's very knowledgeable about history too, so I really like having him on the show. They even sell JSU merch at TJ Maxx. Right. Yeah, Jackson State, man. Jackson State brand has gotten really big. Jackson State has become the Alabama in the SWAC. Love your show, both you and Mr. Ford bring sensible talk. Appreciate that. Yeah, if anyone want to call in, I'll take another caller if y'all want to call in real quick and ask questions or get your thoughts out to the world. This platform is for all of y'all. I built this for SWAC fans and SWAC students, SWAC alumni to call get their thoughts out into the internet and let people hear what you got to say. And we appreciate the fair talk, not negativity. Yeah, I'm not about negativity, man. I know negativity sells. A lot of people like to watch it, and I know a lot of people they harp on negativity for views, and that's fine. But I'm gonna keep doing it the way I'm doing it. I'm not gonna go down that road. I live in Houston, Texas. I get stopped all the time when I have JSU merch on. Yeah, it's crazy. What's the update with new JSU Stadium? We didn't hear anything. Yeah, they're kind of in they're kind of in a standstill right now. I heard they're supposed to get talks started back up in a little while, but right now it's in a standstill. There's no decision on the stadium yet. But yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Raw Truth Media, appreciate the donation, man. Appreciate that. Good looking on the $4.99. DJ, if you want to call in, you can call in and talk to the people. Yeah, if y'all haven't subscribed to Raw Truth Media yet, make sure y'all subscribe to him. He covers SWAC content as well as NBA content. Great brother, good channel. Make sure y'all subscribe to him as well. If we want the SWAC to come up, let's support them financially and in the stands and not just football. Yeah, I really want us to really show up at the basketball games. That's one thing that I wish the SWAC would do better. Like, we can at least get 5,000 people at the games, at the basketball games. It'll look so great on TV and it do a lot for recruiting. I know in the South, our schools are in the South, so football is king. But yeah, I think we definitely need to step up the attendance for basketball games. Okay, DJ, it's all good. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, y'all, it's been a good show tonight. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. I'll be going live probably the end of this week. And I'll be dropping videos on my channel as well. So, man, yeah, appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when I drop videos. And I'm going to see you guys on the next one. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next video.